Hello and welcome to RBKEI's talk show, Master Talk, a series of talks comprising the inspiration talks, aspiration talks, and perspiration talks. Everyone admires the great work of famous men and women, but nobody counts the enormous sacrifices they made in order to achieve that feat. Nothing gets done unless you have a strong desire to perspire in order to achieve the otherwise thought impossible. In the Perspiration Talk series, successful individuals who have achieved the unthinkable share their story of hard work and determination with the students. These talks encourage our students to step out of their comfort zone. Someone said it right. Life starts when you step out of your comfort zone. The Master Talk series will inspire you and teach you valuable lessons to achieve your dreams and goals. We're excited to bring our first talk in the Perspiration Talk series to you all. I request our principal, Ms. Suchi Shukla, to introduce our speaker for today.
Thank you, Ira. Our guest today is our very own student, Riya Dama. Riya joined RBKIA as a 3-year-old in the year 2007, and ever since she has been an invaluable contributor to the school community. Riya is a brilliant student, and that, coupled with her diligence, makes her one of the finest students we have had at RBKIA. Metacognition is not just another word for Riya. She defines her goals, challenges herself by setting high standards for herself, makes a plan, works in an organized manner to achieve it, and most importantly, reflects on what she has done through her journey to be aware of what could have been done better. It is no surprise, thus, that Riya was the highest scorer in the IGCSE board exams in grade 10. This year, she has topped the school with 45 out of 45 IB points in the IBDP board exams. Out of 1,65,857 candidates who appeared for the IBDP exam this year, only 1,187 has scored 45 out of 45 IB points. Thus, this is a truly commendable achievement for Riya. Even more laudable is the fact that Riya has a multifaceted personality. She is a gifted singer, a graceful dancer, a good orator, and a budding poetess. So please join me in welcoming a committed student whose work ethic has made her a role model for today's students. Riya Dama.
Thank you so much for that lovely introduction.
Riya, thank you for being here today and agreeing to speak with us. On the forum, we have Tanya Salaskar, Arang Jomraj, Ira Shah, Fioni Bhanushali, Tanmay Buddha, who are very keen to ask you a lot of questions. So I now hand over the lead to them.
Thank you, Suchi ma'am, for that articulate introduction. I would just like to welcome all of our viewers here and thank you, Riya, for spending some time with us this morning.
Thank you, Marank. It's so nice to see all of you here today for this Master Talk series.
I believe I speak for all of us when I say that we're thrilled to be having this discussion with you today.
Likewise.
You were the student council president in IBDP 1 and had to lead the school. How did achieving the opportunity to be president develop and build on your leadership and social skills?
Well, I had a leadership experience at school before being president, as captain in MYP and as junior captain in PYP. So, being president really was a very different experience in terms of decision making because I was part of the community that actually gave out instructions, planned the events, coordinated with the faculty, and being president was being the bridge between the students and the faculty. So I think that really helped me become a better leader because I had to take in everyone's perspectives into account while planning things, and my communication skills also really improved because I had to lead all the assemblies as well.
To become the student council president, you have to run a successful campaign. What advice would you give to aspiring leaders when it comes to persuading a student body to make them believe in your leadership?
Well, when you're persuading anyone, firstly you need to believe in yourself. That is very important. And of course, when you're campaigning for any election, your personality really has to shine through. Talking in terms of the actual campaign, your speech, you need to get all your pointers across to the student body. You need to show them that you are aware of the issues that the school is facing and what solutions you can offer and how you can make the school a better environment for them. In terms of the posters, well, I know it can be very tempting to go on the internet and copy something off and paste your name on it, but show as much originality as possible because they want to see who you are and what you have to offer them.
That's truly inspiration. You've shown us the path. You were a leader in many activities during your IB program. Could you please talk a little about the value of having leadership experience as a student?
Well, leadership experience is very, very important in life, and it's great if students have that in their own schools. I think leadership teaches accountability in a lot of ways because you are responsible for your own actions. Of course, you have a bunch of people who lead with you, but in the end, as president, it all came down to me leading the student body. So to have that sense of accountability and responsibility was really important.
Leading and inspiring is something that you're very good at. First, leading the school as our president and then creating a CAS club. What were some of the challenges you faced while leading the club, and how are they different from the challenges you faced as a student council president?
Dance-a-sides actually it started with one performance in, I think I was in the 8th grade or the 9th grade. And it started with this idea of wanting to teach my juniors one dance for Relay for Life, for our annual event. And because we received so much appreciation for our performance at that time, I think the idea for having a club was born there. Finally, I came into the IB and I had this chance, so I took it and created Dance-a-sides. And the challenge, you say, I really don't see it as a challenge because everyone in the club shared this love for dance, and I think it was more of de-stressing in school because it was so important to have that personal connection with people who love the same things as you do. So it was really no challenge leading the club, it was fun for all of us.
Dance is one of your many talents. During RFL 2020, you organized a brilliant performance with 25 students coordinating a dance. How did you manage to train and coordinate so many students to produce such a flawless performance in front of such a huge crowd?
Thank you so much. I really don't think it just comes on to me. I think all of us in the club were so passionate about this that we gave it our all, from practices after school hours to collaborating on the dance itself, because I remember I took inputs from almost all the students in the club at the time to choreograph this dance. So it was a joint effort for sure, and yeah, Dance-a-sides is always going to hold a special place in my heart. In fact, I've trained some juniors to take it on as well after since I've graduated high school now.
So you've achieved a full score of 7 IB points in your FYP personal project, for which you launched a book of poems, which you launched, right? So surely launching a book amidst a pandemic is challenging. So how did you manage to overcome these challenges while working the rigorous IB course?
Well, it all started with wanting to publish a book in the first place, and definitely I wanted an in-person event. But unfortunately, due to COVID-19, we couldn't have an in-person event at school because schools were closing. So we had to improvise, and online learning was still very new at that time, August 2020, when I launched my book. And challenges that we faced included planning the flow of events of the actual launch, making sure that the chief guests are invited, making sure that the speeches are prepared. So yeah, I think that was a lot of work at the time. But thankfully I had the right people to guide me through it. So my family, of course, their faith is very important to me. My teachers, they helped me, bring out ideas for the launch, and they also, of course, supported me. the operations team of the school was also very, very helpful because they, they took over the online platform and also the marketing aspect of it. So I think, yeah, surrounding yourself with the right people at the right time is important.
Wow, those are great self-management skills which you portrayed. For your book, Epiphany of an Empath, what was your source of inspiration? Did you face a writer's block? If so, how did you overcome it? What is your advice to budding writers who are facing a writer's block?
The Epiphany of an Empath is an anthology of poems, and it's based on human emotion. So I think that's a very broad theme which I selected, which allowed me to actually explore different ideas, different styles of writing. I learned so much while writing the book as well. For writer's block, of course, everyone in their life definitely has gone through writer's block at least once. And my advice for that would be to distract yourself, to do other things, to change your focus for some time. I think that really helps you gain more inspiration later on. And of course, this is cliche, but inspiration is truly all around you. So yeah, for writer's block, personally, I've started listening to more music, or I went for a run, or I danced, just things as stress busters. And of course, I didn't see writing that book as a big task. I saw it as an opportunity to explore further. So I think that is an important mindset that people need to carry while they write.
So you have achieved a full score of 7 IB points in your personal project. Many students find it challenging to come up with an original idea for the same. How did you fix on an idea for the personal project and carry it forward? And is there any advice you would give to current students who are planning their personal projects?
Well, fixating on an idea there was not very difficult for me because I always knew that I really wanted to publish a book, to write a book. And of course, poetry caught my fancy from a very young age. Fixating on an idea to current students, I would definitely say that you need to work on this for more than a year, which is a very long time. So you really need to do something you're passionate about. I think that you need to keep your timeline in mind and use all your resources, such as your personal project guide, your mentors, even your seniors for that matter, who will really help you throughout the process.
Getting top grades in your IGCSE course would have required the mastery of many different skills. According to you, what were the 3 most important skills that you used and that contributed the most to your success in IGCSE?
Skills, of course, they're necessary for everything in life. I'd say critical thinking was one of these skills because it allowed me to sort of piece the subjects together, which allowed me to learn more about them. Another skill was organization, which is a self-management skill. And that really helped me understand myself as well, because organizing your notes, or the way that this worked for me was finding, revising notes that I was less confident about in the subjects. And also, another skill was balancing everything, because in the same year I had to write my personal project report and process journal, and of course create the product. So balancing all of that is also one of the skills that is really important to me.
That's wonderful. You are truly a master of these skills. You received excellent results in your IGCSE course. Could you share your experiences of the hard work and struggles you had to overcome to achieve this feat?
As I believe nothing worth having comes easy. And struggles just as any other student, must have faced. Yeah, they were there, and of course, balancing one aspect was one of them. But I think having the right outlook towards it, and as I said, organization is again very important. Time management is very important. So these skills sort of helped me overcome those struggles.
So you have received a full 45 score in the IPDP and balanced your time to receive the maximum grade in all subjects. Since time management is such a crucial skill in the IB, could you share your experience with time management and give advice to students who want to manage their time well?
Okay, I cannot emphasize more on this. Time management is everything in the IB. Because you have so many things that you have to balance. You see, you have, of course, your 6 subjects which you have to take. There are internal assessments in them. You need to learn the course material, of course, the syllabus. You have your theory of knowledge, presentation and essay, and you also have your extended essay. So yes, there is a lot to do in the IB, and I think that rigor of doing all this kept it very exciting and challenging for me. So yeah, I'd say that time management is one of the most important skills, not just for the IB but for everything in general. That is a skill that if you possess, you can balance everything much better.
So, according to you, which aspects of the IB program stood out in terms of developing your academic success?
Well, IB made me grow as a person very holistically. So there was a focus on a wide variety of areas. One thing that really stood out to me was the theory of knowledge. I've always wanted to study philosophy, so this allowed me to tackle some very deep philosophical questions in class, which was really exciting to discuss. Another thing is the HL and SL segregation. So higher level subjects, so HL subjects, are those which you study more in depth. So for me, that was part of the life sciences. And scientific language really excites me as well. So it really helped me advance my writing skills to a better, to create better material.
Who or what motivated you to work hard enough to achieve the perfect score at the IB?
Well, I think we're all responsible for our own journeys. That is something I believe wholeheartedly. So I'd say that self-motivation was my catalyst to achieve such a score. Of course, I had the best support system as well, which is my family and the faculty of school.
You have secured admission in some of the world's best universities. Could you share your thoughts on what makes an applicant stand out to universities?
Well, academics is of course a very important part, but that's not the only thing that matters. You also need to have very good extracurriculars, and you can do these, just do things that are passionate to you, that you're passionate about, sorry. Such as, for me that was dance and writing the book and leadership. So you can focus on a variety of areas. This is one piece of advice that I'd give. Either you can focus on a variety of areas to show universities that you tried everything and you're excited about a lot of things, or you can focus on one area and just delve into it.
How did you come up to a conclusion of which career to pursue? And what were the factors that affected your choice?
I haven't chosen a career, I've just chosen the life science stream. So that opens up a variety of careers for me to pursue in the future. Of course, there is a misconception among a lot of people that children in 8th grade or 10th grade or 12th grade need to select a career, hard and fast rule. This is not the case. You are allowed to explore a variety of different areas. Subject selection, it all comes down to that, right? People have those questions, what should I select? Well, in my opinion, the way to go about this would be do what you're passionate about, because you will not enjoy it otherwise. For me, that was most definitely the life sciences. So now that opens up a variety of areas for me to pursue in the future.
You got admitted into the world's top university. So to do so, you had to choose subjects fitting to your perspective degree. Could you share experiences in choosing your subjects and how they were later important to your university application?
Okay, I took online courses as well in general while I was doing my studies for school. I took neuroscience and cell and molecular biology and global health. These were some of the things that really interested me at the time, and it can work both ways for you. There's a double advantage. First, you earn a certificate, which is very important for your portfolio to show to universities. Another thing is that you learn the skill. You learn what you're going to learn in the future, but in a more in a beginner's way. So I think it really helped me because it made me sure about the subject that I've selected, because I really enjoyed those courses. So taking online courses is one way to go about it. Another way is if you have subjects that you're very interested in or career aspirations already. Of course, I think online courses is one thing that everyone should do, because you have, you're sitting at home and it's just, you can do it in your break. It's that easy to access. Opportunities are just one click away. So career aspirations, if you already have, an idea of what you want to do, I'd say go to the university website and you check the course that you want to pursue in the future for your degree, and you see what subject requirements they have, which is, I think, very important because people oftentimes don't know that this is also there, it's available. They can check what subjects they should take or what are needed for the degree requirements. For me, I knew that my love for biology and chemistry would translate into my future career. So those were the subjects that I was sure I wanted to take.
What role has singing or music played in your journey as an IB student? Were there some common skills that helped both your singing and your success as an IB student?
Singing has been my way to express myself since I was a child. And having the opportunity to perform on the school stage was so important to me. It also, made me feel so excited about just being in front of everyone to show what I love. And I'd say skills in singing and the IB coincide as well. One of them would be self-discipline, because while singing you definitely have to have the sense of self, and I think that is important being a student as well. I'd also say having confidence is important, to believe in yourself in whatever you do. And I'd say being more expressive. It's always good to express yourself in general, whatever you're feeling.
You participated in the songwriting competition that took place the last academic year. What inspired you to write your song, and what were the few challenges you faced during the songwriting process?
Well, I've written songs since I was a child. I've also, I think, published a track with people of the school, with my music teacher as well. So maybe I'll send my future music out as well in university. We'll see about that. But songwriting has always been so important to me. And inspiration, as I said, cliche, but again, it is everywhere. So whatever topic you want to write about, with music, the case is that you need to make sure that the instruments, the setup that you have, needs to portray the same emotion that you're trying to encapsulate in your song. I think that is one of the challenges that comes with songwriting.
It's amazing. You're really talented and all-round. Lastly, what does the word perspiration mean to you?
Perspiration. Well, I think Thomas Edison said genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. So that is what it means to me. It means hard work, it means dedication, it means wanting to achieve something with your whole heart. And I think perspiration is what it is, hard work.
So Riya, before we end this, would you like to say anything to the students of the school, any message that you have for them?
Well, I'd just say, do what you love and make sure that you're working towards your goals, because no one else is going to do that for you. And if you're looking for motivation, for inspiration, you can find it within yourself as well. And I just say, work hard. All the best.
So this brings us to the end of our discussion. I hope this talk taught our viewers the value of work ethics as much as it has taught us. Riya, we're so proud to have you in our list as alumni. We really appreciate you sharing your insights with us, and we wish you many more successes in the future.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Riya. It's been wonderful having you here, and we wish you all the very best for your future. I'm sure you'll continue to make us proud.